Hi guys, welcome back to episode 4 of Life Unfiltered. My name is Gabrielle Robinson.
And my name is Vanessa Liu, and we are your co-hosts for the Life Unfiltered podcast.
Today we have another special guest from the home of Troy Athens High School, Miss Zoll. We're so thrilled to have you.
Hello.
She is the secretary for Athens, and let's have you introduce yourself.
So I am Mrs. Zoll, like you had said. I'm a secretary for one of the assistant principals over at Athens High School. And how students can reach out to me is in person, over Schoology, via email, smoke signal, however your little heart desires, however you want to reach out, I'm there to be and listen.
Amazing. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to create belonging and community at schools just overall, not just Athens, just throughout the district. How can we create that sense of community?
So our first question is, how do you stay motivated even on tough days at Athens? Because we know that you're a really positive person. You're always welcoming everyone, and it makes everyone so happy. So I just want to know, how do you do it? What's your secret?
So first off, thank you, because you never know if what you're hoping to put out is what people are receiving. So it feels so good to hear that you guys are receiving what I'm hoping you guys do. And how I stay motivated, it's easy peasy cliche. I fake it until I make it. And that's all it is. I put a smile on. I make sure that you guys feel happy and heard. Really, what's going on with me is never going to be what's going on with you guys, right? So it's just, you guys deserve that love and respect and attention, regardless of how I feel previous to this work day or after.
For the people who don't know who Ms. Zoll is, every morning she's out there greeting all students coming in, saying, have a good morning, or good morning, have a good day. And she always has this smile on her face every time she comes in. And even throughout the day in passing time, she's always here to greet you. So that's why we think she's an amazing guest to talk about how we can create a sense of belonging at school.
Yeah, our personal ray of sunshine.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
So what's something small that always makes you smile?
So I'm twofold in this. Something that I do myself that makes me smile is being goofy, dancing, singing. Like, I'm not putting on an act there in that hallway. Like, I'm going to be opera singing if I need to. I'm going to be doing a little dance. I might be doing the Texas Roadhouse birthday song. Like, we don't know, but it's going to be a little wild. And then the other thing that makes me feel really good as an adult and as a school employee is seeing you guys light up when you're seen. I just feel like so many times you're being, whooshed off, or, everyone's busy, and it makes a real impact. It really fills my bucket. I don't know if you guys in elementary school had the bucket filler.
Yeah, we did.
It fills my bucket big time to make you guys feel seen and heard. I want you guys to feel comfortable and safe. That's what makes me show up each day, do what I do.
That's amazing.
It is. So what's one thing that you love most at school at Troy Athens?
One thing I love most, of course, are the students, the energy in the building. I like being around a lot of people. It drives me. I want to make people feel comfortable. That comes back from, how I felt when I was in high school. I believe you both know, but I was a teen mom years and years ago, and high school is hard. And I won't know that each one of you guys are going through your own thing. And while it may not be the hardest thing that's ever happened, it's the hardest thing on, Vanessa's plate or Gabby's plate. And I want you guys to make sure that you know that you matter. And it's hard, and we're here for you, and you'll make it through. That for sure you will make it through.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I love that we have such a supportive person like you in the district. And like you said, it does really make us feel seen and heard to know that there's someone on our side. So I love that.
I agree, because I feel like some days I walk through the school and it's like you don't really think anyone's thinking about you, or you don't realize that someone is there for you. And when you walk past Mrs. Zoll, she's going to bring you up, and you know that you're seen by her. So it's a really good feeling.
Good. I'm just so flattered that that's something that you get, because I could just be silly in the hall, right? And kind of cringe. So
no, it's never cringy. I always go in the office and I'm like, "What's up, Ms. Zoll?"
Hey,
I just mess with you a little bit, but I love it because you're just so kind.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So what do you do, or how do you make everyone feel included and seen at Troy Athens? Aside from greeting them and being your kind self, what else do you do?
So like Vanessa said, it's I care. that's what it is. I'm going to, as silly as it is, take notes about students. And if they told me that they're going to have a baby sister soon in March, I'm going to put in my calendar March 1st. Hey, is that baby here? What's going on?
Like, that's really cute.
That is so sweet.
And also kids love, like everyone, not even just children. People love to talk about themselves. So just caring enough to ask them a question and then, following up with that, even as silly as like, so what'd you do last night? Oh, nothing. Okay, you didn't read, you didn't watch TV, you didn't breathe. Like, let's hear it. What'd you have for dinner? What time did you go to bed? Like, just caring about your day-to-day, about you as a human. I feel like that's what makes people feel like they're a part of a community, because I know about you. I care.
Right, yeah.
Especially like as a student, I feel like a lot of the times like we don't get that like from people like, hey, how are you doing and all that stuff. So like to know that you're always like saying that, it just, like I said, it makes us feel so heard and like loved, and it's so amazing.
And in saying that, everyone's busy. We're all going through our own things. Like I don't blame anyone for not taking that moment, but it's just something I try to intentionally do. And like I said, I put it in the calendar because there's a lot to manage, So like just making sure to try to make those intentional choices rather than just kind of letting life float by.
Yeah.
Right.
So our next question to you is, how do you make new students feel a part of the group and more comfortable?
Yeah, this is really important to me for a few different reasons. First and foremost, I was a new student myself as a pregnant teenager in a new school, and I know how hard that was for me. Luckily I had peers and things that I had already known, but it was a really hard transition. And really, as much as like your peers, my peers welcomed me in that, it was the staff that made me feel like I was safe and comfortable in the building. I was always going to have friends. I was moving in and out. You know what it's like to be a teenage girl. But having a sense of safety in a space is really important. Also, just learning their name and saying it correctly and giving them real eye contact and explaining to them people that have, similar interests, what they'd like to do, and making sure to connect to them. I think just finding, as you guys have said so lovely, is finding a community in your school is so important and directly affects how you do in school.
Right.
So it's really important to me that every kid that comes through, feels that.
I know for me, I was a new student to the Troy School District in my 8th grade year, and that was also our COVID year, Gabby. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were
wow.
just
We
virtual.
met 8th grade.
Yeah, I remember. And it was honestly really hard to get, into school and into these different groups that I was so, new to.
Yeah.
And so when I came into my my high school year as a freshman, and I literally didn't know anyone because the year before it was virtual, it was really difficult for me to like get into these different groups that people already formed. And what really made a difference was the teachers and the staff and the support group that was there for me, who were so nice to me and were so welcoming. So
Right.
you guys do make a difference.
Thank you. At the end of the day, the staff members are the ones who are the experts in the school, right? We know about every group and everything. And, students walk in and they're just getting the small little picture of what it is when we can see the whole picture being there for years. So I think I'm so happy, and I'm really, really, with my own daughters, I think that it's really important to join a group, be in a sport. The more you give to school, the more you get back out.
And I think it's really important because, like, with you being so kind and everything, like, yeah, we're going to learn, I don't know, Pythagorean theorem and all that stuff. But, like, it's really going to matter to us, like, 10 years from now. Like, that one lady, like, she was always really nice to us in the hallways. Like, I'm going to remember that more than, like, random stuff that I learned in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
like, the impact that you leave on other people. And it's, like, I hope that, like, when I'm older, I still remember to be as kind as you are and like giving all that kindness out like that you do. So.
You will. It's in you. One thing from when I was in high school, not to, continue to talk about it, but it was such a large part of my high school career was being pregnant and giving birth. And one of my teachers, something that this is really was the first initial block of what I believe the students should be treated by was an English teacher of mine. And I was in the thick of being morning sick in my first hour in my AP English class and really miserable. And my teacher realized that it was more important for me to put my head down for maybe, 8 weeks than it was for me to catch those 8 weeks of lessons. And guess what? I caught it up and I got it done. But that kindness has stuck with me. I'm, now in my 30s, and I still remember that with warmth and love, and it really made a big difference in how I was able to be successful in the future, right?
Wow.
I didn't fail English. I was able to I was given an accommodation, and I was shown kindness and love, and that blossomed into, a successful student, a college student, a good mother, in my, opinion, hopefully, and in a loving school employee. So,
That's amazing. Honestly, that's amazing because
Yeah.
I remember the saying, it was, you don't remember what they say to you, but you remember how it made you feel.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is more true than I could ever even say. I really, truly believe that.
Yeah.
So our next question is, what's one thing, or how do you encourage others to speak up and share their ideas without feeling uncomfortable?
So I think you guys definitely know this. I feel like I try to give you guys space, but I don't pry. I feel like sometimes it can feel a little bit like someone who's trying to help is being nosy. And I want to be able to offer up information to people when I'm sharing. And I don't want to feel like I'm pulling information out of you guys. So really, it's up to you. I don't push anyone. And my encouragement is just that I'm here, that I care. It's similar to how I would treat my own children. I'm going to touch, I love you guys. I see you guys. Like if you're looking a little down, a little tired, a little hungry, whatever, I might ask. But if you're like, I'm good, Mrs. Zoll, then that's that. That's when you guys feel ready, that you guys will. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that's, I think, really important, is just not pushing. When they're ready, they will come. They know where to find me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any rituals or traditions that bring students together to form a community?
Yeah. One of the things that I really try to do is be present. I feel like that makes a big difference. Even just this week, I was busy this week. I wasn't in the hall as much, and I feel disconnected from the students. And I do feel like that is our little community, even if it's as silly as in the morning, wishing you guys in the morning, have a great day, or 6th hour really means a lot to me, like wishing you guys a happy 6th hour. I do think that builds a little sense of community, and we give knocks and high fives. And I just think that 6 minutes, that's all it is. Passing time is 6 minutes, but those are those little rituals and things that I feel like, might then, if I see you in the hall and I've given you next 10 times, then maybe you'll come into my desk and you might grab a Smartie and we may have a quick conversation. And that's how I build that community. But again, never a force. That's kind of like, I'm going to leave it there and you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I kind of ate a lot of the Smarties there.
Amen, girl. And they're there. Carl on my desk says only one a day, but as long as you're coming in one day, then please come in more.
Yeah, I do eat those one a day.
So you talk about yourself being a mother. How do you think being a mother influences how you treat students?
I have a lot of empathy. I see what a high school student's day-to-day is like. My kids' lives are hard. Like, waking up early, taking a shower at 5 a.m. and then, getting to school by 7 and maybe not getting home until after work, sports, tutoring until maybe 7 again. I know when I work a 12-hour day, I'm exhausted. Exhausted. I'm so tired and worn down. And I'm also given the understanding from other adults that I work 12 hours and I am tired. And I just think that with kids, it's hard because you guys just, you got to perform and you got to be following the rules and you've got to be polite about it and respectful. And it's a hard life. Now, is it doable? Yes. You can be kind and loving and busy. Yes, it is absolutely possible. But I am always thinking about how would I want my kiddos to be treated, and I treat kids like that. And like I had mentioned earlier, if I see that I've got one of my babes that's looking a little tired, like I'm gonna offer them water or something. I just want them to feel a little bit of that like mama love. At my previous high school, there was a lot of kiddos who had just hard family lives, and I feel like maybe that school taught me like sometimes you just got to be like fun auntie and loving and say I love you and care for kids truly. It's something I really, really, really love and respect about Principal Burden is that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Now I know some people think that's like whatever, like silly or whatever. It's important to me. Like I do love you, and there's nothing you could do about it. I don't care what decision you're making, who you're being, why you're being that way. Like you're good inside, and I love you to pieces, truly, deeply.
And I'm so happy that he does that, because the leadership advisory board, before he came, we said that we wanted to have a morning greeting. So like the announcement was not always like something bad, because before it was like always something bad on the announcements. Like, do you remember like whenever we would hear
used for emergencies only?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it gave that negative connotation of if
Yeah.
I hear that beep, something bad, an emergency's happening.
Yeah.
So
But now, like when we hear it, no one's like scared. It's like, okay, like we're just saying, hey,
Yeah.
how are you
Yeah.
doing? So like I'm really happy that Mr. Burton actually incorporated that.
I agree.
You know,
It definitely is.
Yeah, I agree too. When he was gone for those few weeks, I would miss those like morning announcements, because anyone could do it, but he was the one who ended it with "I love you" and there's nothing you can do about it. He was like, I was waiting for that little speech at the end every single time, and it's really great to have him back.
Yeah. I am so pleased to work in a school that from the top down, people care for kids. It seems so silly. Of course, most schools, like, we're there for the kids, but truly deeply loving kiddos on a cellular level, rather than just like, I love that you get good grades and listen.
Yeah, I think like the connections like with like students, it just means a lot. Like I was saying, like knowing that people care about you and they'll do anything like for you, not even just related to school. It just like it makes you really want to be there. And it is hard. Like for me, I'm an athlete, I'm a student producer, like I'm in a lot of clubs and all that. So like my practice doesn't end until 8, but it's like far away. So I'm not getting home until later, and like just having like teachers or like other people that are understanding that like I'm tired, like I can't do this, like it's just like it means a lot. So
And you will, because you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
Like I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be successful if I give you a break, so.
Right.
Do you have any advice for students to create a more positive atmosphere at school, or to create a more inclusive place to be in?
That's hard, because you can't control your environment, especially in school. There's a lot of times where you're just, regardless of, every right decision, you're in a classroom with people that are hard to get along with, or, your peers or whatever. Teen years are hard.
Yeah.
How do you kind of create positivity and community in your own life? I would say active listening. That was something I lacked in high school, and I think has made me a better human and a better friend and a better mom, in all aspects of my life. Just truly listening to what the people nearby you are saying, and then communicating effectively back, right? So it's so simple. Like all I'm saying is listening and talking, right? But if you truly listen to what the people that are near you are saying, I believe that most of us have a similar kind of point of view, and we have the same, motivation is to make your community better, yourselves better, your family proud. You want to have a successful life. Everyone feels that way. So just harnessing that, rather than in your teenage years, and humans in general are so focused on differences, focus on those similarities, because most of us are all the same,
And do you think you can differentiate like listening and then active listening, like what that means and what that looks like?
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I feel like I was listening to speak. I was listening to answer. And now I'm listening to understand. So rather than, for example, you were having a little bit of that like scheduling issue, and rather than just being like, she needs a schedule change, whatever, really taking the time and understanding the reason why you feel that way. And then I wasn't so quick to be like, you've got a schedule change, go into the counseling office. I think that makes you feel more comfortable, makes me a better secretary, and creates a better community. So now you feel more comfortable to come back and talk about things with me, or, for each other. You guys are actively listening to each other every, week with a podcast.
Yeah.
You're probably more likely to communicate effectively together too, right? Because you're not listening to speak back. You're listening to hear them and understand them. And that's what matters.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any lasting words or advice for listeners?
Yeah. What I like to tell my kiddos is to create balance in their life, or their lives, is when you're working hard, work really hard. And when you're resting, truly rest. And when you're having fun, have the best, the most fun, the best time, and really focusing on what am I trying to do right now. I find that like my girls are will say, oh, I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to do a few things. Oh, let me get this chore done. And now their break is over and they're working again. Mm-hmm. And that burns them out, and same with having fun. It's like, you may be having really, you're having fun, but you're worried about my other responsibilities or things like that. Block that time. This is my fun time. I am going to have so much fun. Homework, will get done, and balance it, of course. You have to be mindful of how much time you're devoting to each one of those things, but really do it when you are. That's my advice is, rest when you need to, work hard, and have a lot of fun.
And how do you practice that in like the work setting? Like, how do you do that now?
I time block my day. So I'm really cognizant of how much time I'm spending on each thing. And like I said, so if I'm going to be focused on like an assignment at work, I know that I have until passing time. I'm going to stand up from that passing time and I'm going to have fun for those next 6 minutes. I'm not going to worry about work. Anyone that comes in, like, I will be with you in just a minute. Here, let's wave hi, let's hang out, let's do that. I just feel like really honoring what matters to you in that moment is what will help you kind of move past that constant run in the back of your head of like being worried about the next thing. Just enjoy in the portion that you're in right now. You will get there. Don't stress too much. Of course, plan. Mm-hmm. Don't just live recklessly. But I think that you both are super smart. Most kids are super smart and able. So just focusing on being able to really enjoy. That's what I think matters. I feel like kids are so stressed right now, and I just you guys have fun. Enjoy your childhood. Enjoy your life. All good things will come. That's one thing I know for sure. Life is, interesting, but you will have really successful, happy lives if you focus and work hard. That I know.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really impactful.
That was beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm just such a big fan of you guys, Athens students, Troy School District students. Love them. So.
Thank you so much again for your insight, Mrs. Zoll.
It has been such a pleasure. I love you guys.
We are so happy to have your experience and your expertise on this subject. And
yeah, we love you. I think speaking for all of the kids at Troy Athens, we love to see you. We miss you when you're not there. We like hearing your 90-second warning. Like, we love everything about you, Ms. Zoll. So I'm so happy that you came when you did, even though it wasn't when I was a freshman in high school. I'm still so happy because you made my days so much better since then.
The feeling is so mutual.
And you've truly made an impact on our school.
Vanessa, thank you.
Truly,
course. Thank you.
Do you want to shout out Lab and tell people what that's about?
Leadership Advisory Board. We have, so one of the many things that I say yes to in the school year is the Leadership Advisory Board. That's a group that we have of students and administrators and me, the secretary of that group. And we just work to make the school better, being able to hear student voices and what can we do from admin voices and working to try to kind of align those ideas and move forward to make everyone's lives better. So, hopefully next year y'all can apply and come hang out with me. It'll be fun. So.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you again, Mrs. Zoll, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in on this week's episode. You guys know where to find us, life.unfilteredpod on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
Yeah, don't forget to fill out our Google form in our Instagram bio if you have any topics that you want to discuss or any guests that you'd like to see appear on our podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in once again. We're your co-hosts, Vanessa Liu
and Gabrielle Robinson.
And always remember to embrace the mess and live life unfiltered. Bye, guys.
Good job, guys.